Good morning, everyone. This is Heike. Lola is down there, but probably will be up in a second. And you're watching Stone Cold Coffee Crafts. Today is Tuesday, May the 26th. And it is not quite as early as it was yesterday. Yay! Ooh, there comes Lieutenant Furbot. Hi, Lola. Good morning. Why are you talking to me, human? Alright, so I'm a little more awake already, which might be a good thing or not, we will see. But it's time for our daily update on what I did yesterday. So I am back at work and I am feeling it because I am missing about 8 hours of crafting time each day. Not that I completely use those up because I'm the queen of procrastinating even with my crafting. But yeah, I had a lot of things I wanted to do yesterday and I managed to do exactly one of them in what could be considered a complete fashion. So let's start out with the diamond painting first. Update on the diamond shop. No update at all. As I had expected, my mystery kit was not delivered yesterday. When I checked last night, it jumped from being delivered on the 25th to we can't tell you when it will be delivered, and last night it was still in China. I have not checked today. So I guess COVID is even affecting FedEx. So let's hope that it's only going to be a few days delay because June 5th, guys, June 5th. It would be such a pity if we had to postpone because the kits didn't get delivered in time. Yeah. But anyway, I had promised, I think, yesterday that I would do some diamond painting, and I did do it, but I underestimated another thing I wanted to do yesterday, and it took me a lot longer. So I started one of these mini kits, and I managed a whole lot, as you can see. I managed all the pink, but that's it. I had to go to bed. I was just completely knackered. So I started on the Chinese Zodiac and I have completed the pink. I will complete the rest today. It should be less of an issue to carve out some time for it today. Yeah, nothing special about these kits. You have seen them on my channel before. I'm going to remove the cover so you can see it a little better. You have seen them on my channel before. They are these cute full crystal things. And I will link the shop I got mine from below in the description box. But please be aware that they currently don't have all of them. Nope, that's the wrong side. Yes, perfect. That they currently don't have all of them in stock anymore. But you should be able to find them in so many different shops on AliExpress. Honestly, I have no idea what the copyright status on these is. Literally no idea. I also haven't checked. Quite frankly, I don't think that they are an issue, but if they are, so be it. I bought them, I'm going to complete them, and that is it. I doubt that someone from China will come and will, hey Stinky Paw, and will claim copyright on that. So, that is sadly already all I can say on diamond painting today. There has nothing else been going on. So, I'm sorry my diamond painting friends, you are being shortchanged again today. I'm so sorry. I promise once May it is over. Words, they are fighting me. The crafting schedule will be less stitching once again, but May is Stitch Mania, and if I go into such things, I go deep. So I apologize to anyone who's not interested in stitching, but May is going to be stitching. All the stitching, and I hope that in June I will be back more on diamond painting. Well, I will be back more on diamond painting because of the diamond shop thing at the very least, but yeah, we should have more progress and more to show then. Alright, Stitching. I worked on one project yesterday. I completely, once again, and I don't know why I keep doing that, I completely underestimated the time the backstitch on the Yogacorn would take me. I really thought I would be able to finish the Yogacorn, get a tiny start on Beautiful Things by Lindy Stitches, do the diamond painting, and cast on my new knitting project. As you can see, I was completely delusional. That would have been probably possible if I had still been on vacation, but I have to get out of vacation mode now with my plans because this is ridiculous. But still, Yogacorn. It took me somewhere between 4 and 5 hours to do the backstitching, which is absolutely ridiculous. But this is what it looks like. And the background color is blowing out hard. Imagine this a little more blue and teal. So, as you can see, the backstitching on this is extensive. It's also a mixture of 1, 2, and 3 strands of backstitching. I'll be honest with you, I have cut out most of the 3 strands. I have added them in a few spaces, but not nearly as much as the pattern called for, especially because the pattern called for 3 layers of backstitch in places that made no sense to me whatsoever, like the eyelashes, which have been a pain like they are, and they are all, I think they are all single thread now, because I made them that. It's absolutely ridiculous. But I'm going to give you a close-up so you can see it a bit better. All the little details that I added. There's a tiny bit of backstitch in Krynic as well, on the tail and the mane, but I think it's not standing out as much as I initially expected. On camera you can actually see pretty well that there are 2 colors of Krynic in the unicorn as well. To the naked eye it's not as visible. I mean, there is a difference between the gold and the orange, but it is not as visible if you look at the stitching as it is on camera now. I'm glad that the camera shows it off a bit better, because that was actually something I found really annoying yesterday. I think I have figured out how I need to do the Krynic now, that it doesn't give me nightmares. Because I think I mentioned it yesterday. Krynic is supposed to be even worse than Rainbow Gallery Treasure Braid, which is the stuff I have used on the Chinese Zodiac. Used and thoroughly not enjoyed using, even though it was just a few stitches. Krynic is even stiffer and more unwieldy than the Treasure Braid. And Krynic is the metallic that is used in all the Mirabilia patterns, and I have quite a few now. I purchased, I think, 2 for myself. I got 2 from my best crafty friend, and I have the non-Mirabilia but same designer house, the Gothic house, which all have Krynic. Some more, some less, so the Gothic house doesn't have a whole lot of Krynic in it. My Mirabilia Wood Goddess has a ton of Krynic. So I was really, really afraid, but I think I have figured it out now. What I've discovered is that you have to lead the thread when you're pulling it through. And by that I mean I'm a 2-handed stitcher. I'm stitching on a floor frame. So that means I have my left hand always underneath my work, and I put my needle through with my right hand, grab it with my left and pull it through. So what I've discovered now is that the Krynic is an absolute pain in the ass when you, pardon me, a pain in the butt if you try to just pull it like you would a regular thread. But if you, let me see if I have a threaded needle here. It's not Krynic, but it's threaded. But if you put the needle through and you pull from underneath while at the same time grabbing the Krynic and letting it glide through your fingers while you pull it through, and keep a little bit of tension here while doing so. It is much easier to get the cryonic through, like this, you see? It's much easier, and it looks a lot neater in the end. So that's what I discovered yesterday while working on the cryonic. Same for when it goes back up. I stitch back up with my left hand. I grab the needle and I pull, and I have the thread down here still in my fingers, and I'm letting it glide through. I tend to do this when I have issues with knotting threads. Usually that helps a little bit. So I usually always do it with my left hand underneath the work, and I discovered yesterday every time I pulled through from the underneath up that it was somehow easier than the other way around. So I think that's the way how you can make stitching with cryonic less awful. It is still stiff, it is still unyieldy, but I think it also looks pretty good in the end. I'm a bit sad that the colors are so blown out. I think I'm going to try to adjust the coloring. So if you see a change now, you see what it's actually look like. If you don't see a change, then it didn't make a difference in the editing program. So anyway, this took me so long. I finished around, I want to say shortly before 11 p.m. Was it 10:30, 10:40, something like that? That's when I finished this. Of course, there was also dinner and everything else in between, but yeah, live, people, live. So, Yogacorns is going off the frame now for a while. I need a break. I can't stitch more than one Yogacorn before I need a break, because the backstitching is just absolutely crazy. But you have to agree, it looks pretty awesome. So you know what, I'm going to show the before and after. Sorry, I knocked the cable on the camera and it's still on the wonky frame. So I'm going to show the before and after here. Going to put the picture on the left how it looked yesterday, in case you don't remember any longer, and what the backstitch did for this. These frames are really unwieldy. So I think you will agree that the backstitching really did magic things to the whole thing. Alright, so you can already see my yarn in the corner up there. I started my new knitting project, like I said, and by started I mean I cast on a few stitches. I need 101. These are, I think, 40. I have to recount, but I think these are 40. And like I mentioned yesterday, I am no longer doing the long tail cast on, so this is what I basically do. Yes, Lola, we hear you. I don't know what this cast on is called in English. What I do basically is I knit my stitches on my needle. So I initially put one stitch on the needle, and what I do now is I knit, I turn it, and I put it on the needle, and I pull not too tightly, and then I do it again. Actually, what you're supposed to do is you can do this in a fluid motion. You can pull, put it on, and then keep knitting. Cat, please don't kill my yarn, thank you. I don't tend to do this because then I usually, cat, no, stop it. Because then I tend to pull too tightly, because everything happens on the tips of the needles, and I need them to be not too tight on the shaft. So that's why I usually put it on, push it back, bring the tension in I want, and then knit the next one. So this is how I cast on now. I can cast on as many as I need. I only have a tiny tail here at the end. I don't know why I am supposed to use a 6-inch tail. Quite honestly, I don't do it. I never have done it so far, even with the long tail cast on. Please don't stab yourself. I don't see the use in it. So if there is a use I am missing, please tell me. And this is the beginning of the heart shawl. So Let's see how far I will be tomorrow. If I have at least finished the cast on. I should have. But quite frankly, like I said, I needed so much time for the stitching on the unicorn yesterday. I need to put this out of the cat's reach or it's going to die. That I just didn't have the attention span, quite honestly, because I was just tired. I was completely tired. So, but what I also have decided yesterday is what I'm going to do with 2 of my yarn purchases. They are from different stores, but I thought they would go well together for this pattern. So I have this one skein of sock yarn, which is a tonal dark gray with a bit of sparkle, as you can see. It is Ooh Yarn Sugared Sock by Knit Crate, and the color is called Stony Outcrop. It's a superwash merino with nylon and stellina. Stellina is the glittery stuff if you are not a knitter. And this is a fingering weight, but it is a little less than a skein of 100 gram fingering weight usually would be as far as yardage goes. Usually it's about 400 meters. And what is that in yards? 440 maybe. So this is a little less, which shouldn't be that much of a problem. And to go with that, I chose Tudor Rose yarns. This is the Fantasy Sock Club. I think it was March. So it was Never Ending Story. She has multiple clubs. If you're interested, please check her out. She has a Jane Austen club. She has a fantasy club. She now started a Disney themed club. And I think she has... There was a 4th one. Can't remember what it was any longer. She also has a ton of boxes you can order, seasonal boxes and advent calendars and stuff like that. So if you're interested in that, check her out. Her sparkle yarn, her sparkle sock is extremely soft. The sparkle is not scratchy at all. So it is absolutely gorgeous. And Never Ending Story, the picture, she shows an inspiration picture, and by this picture you know somewhat in what direction the thing is going. I think at least I only have so far one example to show for the Jane Austen Club and this one. And I don't know when I'm going to show you the Jane Austen because I have not decided which pattern I want. So the picture she showed was of the Empress, and it was very purple, so I hoped that the yarn would be purple, and as you can see, I was not disappointed. This is a sock club, so usually what you get in a sock club is a skein of fingering weight yarn in a sock quality, and then you get a 20 gram skein in a contrasting or complementary color for the heel and the toe. I don't plan on knitting socks anytime soon, but what I plan to do with these yarns is and I'm going to put it up here, is the Chamomile Dreams Shawl by Susanna Winter. And yeah, hey pussy. And I plan to do the body of this thing with the dark yarn. And because I think I might not have enough, it calls for a full 400 meter skein, I believe. No, it doesn't. Actually, this should be just enough. I think it calls for 360. But I think I'm a bit of a loose knitter, so I don't know. I have not tested my gauge or anything. But I think I'm a bit of a loose knitter. And that's why I thought this would be perfect, because for the orange part I'm going to use the purple, of course, but if I run out of the black I can use the green for the stripes between the purple parts that are supposed to be gray, if I have to, or at least for some of them. So yeah, I thought this would probably work out very well. And also I saw this pattern and completely fell in love with it and absolutely wanted to make some of my yarn work. And then I remembered I had this Never Ending Story sock club and this very dark tonal black gray, and that this should be contrasting well enough to do this shawl. So this is the plan for these 2 yarns. I have ordered on Sunday, I believe, the Disney sock club for May, which is Beauty and the Beast. Kind of excited what this will be. I'm hoping for some kind of pink or something. You know, I hope for the rose more than I hope for the iconic dress, because while I would probably love the yellow, it's a bit hard for me to use up. And I also ordered the Jane Austen club for May. I missed out on April, so I don't know what this was, but the one for March was Lizzie Bennet, and May is Mr. Darcy, so I thought this would be very fitting. So I'm very excited about those. Yeah, these are the plans for these yarns, and I've started a list now. I have finally made the list I wanted to do, and I'm going to write down all the patterns I plan to do and all the yarns I plan to use for that. And yeah, that should keep track of everything and hopefully keep me a bit more honest with my yarn purchases, because believe me, they have happened again. I don't know why I keep doing this, because I know I can't knit so fast that I can use them up in a reasonable time that would justify the purchases, but here we go again. Yay. Yay. Attention. Love. All right, guys. This is it. I don't have anything else for you today, so this is now officially the shortest I have done so far. Cat, do you have a wet nose? She has indeed. Strange. Cats usually don't. At least mine don't. They usually have very dry noses. But we have a cold, wet nose today. So yeah, all that I have left now is to wish you a wonderful day, hopefully with a lot of crafting. The cat has decided yarn is the perfect place to rest her head on. Thank you, cat. At least you're not eating it this time. And yeah, I'm going to leave you to it. Talk to you tomorrow, guys. Bye.